Today, I'm gonna be working with my homie Jay. This guy's a really cool photographer, known him for about 10 years. He has some really dope photos. Let me show you guys. Right here. Yeah, and actually, he has a story right now. Let's check it out.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm here with my homie Christian today, and we're here to do a photo shoot.
Photography tax deductions. No, not fishing. I got photos. There you go. Thank you. Any travel parking? Photographers, make sure you expense that. Okay, thank you.
Like whatever is comfortable for you. I'm not gonna say anything. Like you kind of mess around, like do a pose, 1, 2, 3. Do another pose, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll flag you down to come back. Okay?
Done deal.
Okay.
You gotta eat when you're on photo shoots. So when you're traveling, you get all this food in your bellies. Make sure to deduct that on your taxes. That's actually a tax deduction. All travel and meal expenses. Right, JAYMAR?
I said that in Turkey, some villages, if you don't eat spices, you cannot get married.
Wait. he said I'm not getting married, guys, because I can't have spices. I don't like spicy food. Guys, we're trying to get golden hour shots right now. So we're really trying to get these really good shots. As you can see, the sun is just hitting the hills and we only have a couple of minutes to get these shots off. So we're really just running on the clock.
Here I have the 8200 and I have the mag mod system with a mag grid, a mag gel, and a mag sphere. So this is gonna direct the light to Christian's face.
Hey, what's up everybody? We just got done with the photo shoot. But as you know, there are a lot of expenses that photographers take throughout the entire year. And all those expenses you can expense off your tax return. I am gonna need the help of Jay to help explain all of those expenses so that way you guys know what kind of camera gear you can expense off your tax return.
Hey, what's up guys? We had a pretty successful photo shoot today with my homie Christian. And first and foremost, I just want to talk about more about the gear. My X Pro 2, my favorite camera of all time, made by Fujifilm. Right now I have a 56mm 1.2 attached to it. We use this lens a lot today. I use the Wandered Provoke 31. It's a beautiful bag. It's a little dusty. I love to travel with it. It's a roll top type of bag, so I can stuff anything on top, any like accessories. It all just goes in here. And my new favorite lens is the Mitakon 35 with an f-stop of 0.95. Beautiful glass. This gets the money shot. We got a couple shots in the cornfields earlier during golden hour, and man, that was beautiful.
All right, Jay. So the money question, literally a money question is, how much and when did you purchase all this camera gear?
I spent about $10,000 on all my camera gear, and that was all purchased in the year 2017.
Right. So for everybody, I have a very crucial advice for you. As you may know, when everyone gives you tax advice, they say that you can only take the expense in the year that was purchased. So Jay, just this past year, recently started getting really serious with his business. So he's actually started making income, started getting 1099s. But the one caveat is he purchased his camera gear last year. And if you're using tax softwares, it's very ambiguous on how to take those expenses. You don't really know how, because everyone says, oh, you can only expense the things you bought this year. That is not true. Camera gear is considered an asset for everyone. And what does that mean is, even though you bought it last year or even prior years, if you now, and you're using that for a hobby, maybe you were a photographer and you just want to do it for fun, and then all of a sudden you started getting clients, you started making money. Now that means you're going to turn your personal property into business property. And what that means is now you can start taking your camera gear and everything he bought, $10,000 worth, and actually deduct it off of his tax return, because now he's using it for business. So just because you bought your camera gear in 2015, 2014, 2013, or even last year, don't make that mistake and think you can't take that deduction, because you can. So ask your accountant how to do it, they'll let you know. Just want to give you that one tip. All right, guys. Alrighty, so we are done with everything today. One thing I want to advise that I haven't really touched on today is a lot of photographers, well, actually all photographers, travel to their location. And what I recommend doing is tracking all your mileage on phone apps, because even when talking to Jay, he didn't like track any of his mileage. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't tracking his mileage, like even,
know about that.
and all of those mileages add up. So at the end of the day, I would advise everyone to download your favorite mileage app and track all your mileage and give that to your accountant at the end of the year, so that way it gets classified correctly. You never know, all of those miles will add up at the end of the day. I know today we drove at least like 100 miles, and the IRS rate is pretty much half of all the miles you take. It's a deduction, so that's at least $50 in just one day. In one day, $50. And when you think about all the miles you drive throughout the year, it can be thousands of dollars. So take my advice, get a mileage app, guys. All right, guys, we are back at my studio, and again, we are talking about post photo shoot tax deductions.
So after every photo shoot, I always back up my SD cards onto my Surface Pro 2. I picked this up for $2,500. I use this heavily after every photo shoot because it gives me direct access to possibly editing and also backing up. So for my editing needs, I use Adobe Creative Cloud, and that includes Lightroom and Photoshop for photographers. I pay about $19.99 a month, and that also includes a terabyte of online storage. I personally use an insurance policy to protect my gear, and I've gone in situations where I've traveled abroad, been in tropical countries, and I've used my camera in like thunderstorms and in disaster situations. So I did have to file a claim before, and I spent about $150 a year on insuring $10,000 of my camera gear, and I've made claims and with no deductible. So there's really great policies out there that can protect your gear and not having to worry so much about babying your gear. I grabbed a couple samples of today's photo shoot with Christian, and as you can see, I tend to have like a moody / street photography style. And if you ever want to collab with me or just shoot together, hit me up on Instagram at JMRLN. Send me a DM.
Just to bridge everything back today, because a lot happened today. The first set of items we talked about was Jay's camera gear, and that was about $10,000 worth of expenses. The second set of items were meals. So today we went to Starbucks in the morning. After that, we went to Mr. Kebab. Great food. And then we ended up going to In-N-Out right before we got back here to my crib. That was about $100 worth of meals. So when you're out on business trips, out on photography trips, make sure to document all the meals, and you never know, that could be a lot of money at the end of the year. Third item we talked about was mileage. Today we drove around to location, and all in all we drove, I think, about 90 miles going from my crib and back. And that's not even including the mileage that Jay drove from his house to my crib. So again, document all your mileage at the end of the year. It can be a lot of savings on your tax return. Fourth, we talked about Jay's laptop, the Surface Pro 2. That's about $2,500. And then we talked about the editing softwares for Lightroom and Photoshop. That's about $20 a year. And then the last pro tip he had was his insurance policy. So when you add all that together, $10,000, $2,500, $150 insurance policy, we're talking almost, what, $13,000 of expenses just for this one photo shoot. Obviously not for the one photo shoot, but in culmination. So again, these are some of the tax deductions a photographer can have. I hope you guys like this video. Again, please follow JAYMAR on JMRLN. Follow me on Instagram at Chrissy Doria. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day, guys. Peace.